Hello, Jammers, and welcome to episode 25 of the Jams and Cocktails live podcast. I'm Brad Brock, and I'll be your host this evening. Joining me, as always, in the JNC Lounge is the beautiful and wonderful Jordan Taylor.
Hi, everyone.
Also hanging out with us is the super talented Vern Daysel.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, man, I forgot to readjust your... hang on there. You keep looking pretty.
I look really short. I am quite short, though.
There we go.
Oh. There he is.
It wouldn't be a Jams and Cocktails podcast if I hadn't forgotten something. Well, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. You guys, if you haven't already, please go and join the Jams and Cocktails live podcast group here on Facebook. Give the Brad Brock music channel a subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. And, of course, each Wednesday night we are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Keyword Brad Brock Music or Jams and Cocktails, whichever suits your fancy. And let me see where I'm at here. That reminded me of something I forgot to do too. But you guys, we have a fun show tonight, which will kick off with our shot of the week. Of course, we'll introduce you to our featured guest, Vern Daysel. We'll go through the Jordy Files, and we'll be putting Vern through the Lipton Tea, which I have not gave him privy information to yet. And we'll get our midweek motivation from Tony Espinosa. So we are watching the Facebook comments, so please join our conversation and let us know that you're here. What do you guys say? You want to start things off with the shot of the week? Sounds good to me, right? All right. Let's get back to that real quick. I like to put the recipe up there so people could see if they're playing along at home. But this shot of the week comes from South Africa. It's a favorite, which we're learning. It's called Springbokkie. Is that the right pronunciation?
Yeah, I would say it's fine. You can say Springbokkie.
Oh,
that's the Afrikaans way of saying it.
Spring, you got to put a little roll in your R.
Springbokkie.
Springbokkie.
That's fun.
That's awesome. So, in honor of our guest tonight, we thought we'd share a taste from home.
Cool. So,
Springbokkie is 1 part creme de menthe and amarula layered on top, and it's really that simple. It's a bartender's dream. So, if you guys are drinking at home, whether you're drinking a shot with us or you're drinking whatever it is that you're drinking there, put them up because we're about to do a toast here. Cheers,
yes.
Vern. Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you so much,
Cheers.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah, shot of the week.
Refreshing. It's like a mint cookie.
Right? It is like a mint cookie.
Or those little Andes chocolate things. Those little candies.
Yeah, it does taste like an after dinner mint. Yeah.
That's good.
Where did you find the amarula?
Just at the local liquor store.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find it at like Walmart liquor store or anything like that. But
We have like this crazy liquor store over here that like, I don't know. If you can't find what you're looking for there, they don't make it. No. But yeah, it's really crazy.
It's wild.
That place, they have like 5 aisles of just like red wine. I'm like, that's...
They really do.
An indecisive person's nightmare.
It's out of control. I mean, like, I had been going to the Walmart liquor store to like get things, and like they never have anything that I need, and I'm like, oh, you know, but it was convenient because it was right next to the supermarket. And so I decided to pop in because Walmart obviously didn't have what we needed. So I popped into this liquor store on the corner, and I was like, this is like a candy store. Anything I've ever dreamed of is in this place. It's amazing. But
it's like a toy store for adults. You see all the colors and stuff and you get all excited.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then some of the labels.
Oh, yes.
Like, oh,
wow, this is
that
well
looks
done.
fun.
Oh man. Well, before we get too deep into all these things, I'm going to introduce you guys to our very special guest here. So, the Get Ready to Rock blog out of the UK describes his songwriting as having more hooks than a church cloakroom. It's top-notch in its simplicity and its execution, both vocally and on the sixth string. It's delicious and exemplary. Singer-songwriter Vern Daysel recently immigrated to the United States, bringing with him an already storied music career from his home in South Africa. He's been a band leader, a hired gun for superstars, and now is dazzling Treasure Coast audiences with his solo shows and his work as the frontman for the band Switchin' Whiskey. It's a pleasure to have him on the show tonight. You guys, check out Vern Daysel. What's up, Vern? Welcome again to the show, man.
That's a hell of an introduction, man. Thank you. Wow.
Well, you deserve it, dude. I spent the last couple of days going over your records, listening to your music, really getting a grip on what you got going on, and I have to say, I'm blown away, man.
Thanks, man.
You don't hear a lot of this kind of music, the southern rock thing that is executed as well as you've put it together. The records were fun. The records were easy to listen to. The songwriting was awesome, and it's great to have you here, because I'd only seen you play once live, and it was just before I was going on stage after you, and I remember sitting there going, "Oh my God, I gotta follow this guy. This is just terrible." But I did it, and of course, the sun went down, and I think they had like one light. I'm glad I brought my own lights, because that was going to be a major problem. But dude, it's great to have you here, man.
Thank you so much.
So what's been going on? We all kind of have had the same questions, and or I've had the same questions for most of our guests recently. The quarantine has been kind of a real standstill and a bummer for our careers and our shows and things like that. So how has that been for you? How have you been working through that?
It's been strange. Obviously, our generation's never lived through anything like this.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of it blows your mind a bit to think about what's going on in the world. And, considering what's going on in a lot of other parts in the world, I kind of feel fortunate to be where I'm at the moment.
Sure.
So obviously we had a couple of weeks, I think a little bit more than 2 months that we couldn't do any work. And that was obviously stressful for everybody.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then it opened a little bit by a little bit, and I've been busy, and I'm really grateful and blessed to be busy like that. And and now we're at a stage where you don't know what's going to happen.
Seriously, it's like living in the unknown, which is so scary and so exhilarating. It sounds, I guess, a little stupid to say, but to me, it's like, wow. Like you mentioned, this is the first time in our generation, and anyone that's been alive, save maybe a few people, this is the first time this group of people has gone through something pandemic like this, and in a way that we all have instant access to information about it. It's not like, you get the daily paper and you see what's up. Instant access all the time, 100% of the time. That's never been done in history. So it's wild to wake up every day and hear, there's been 10,000 cases, there's been 7,000 cases, there's, the bars are open, the bars are closed, the bars can only do takeaway liquors and things like that. It's bizarre, man.
It is. And you know what? It gets exhausting, like trying to keep up with stuff, watching the news or staying glued to social media and all that stuff.
Right.
It really gets exhausting, man. Where you just need to be like, I need to step away for a couple of days or something.
I did that.
It's good to know kind of what's going on, but I think there's a limit
Yeah,
you can take.
No doubt, man. Like I work on social media almost all day long, every day. So like I really have to just be conscious enough to kind of zip by it, you know, and just be like a furious scroller, because otherwise it's maddening in a way.
Yeah, no, it's the same for me. Most of my stuff that I do, I need to promote myself constantly on social media, so I have to be there. It's just the timeline of doom, you know. When you just sit there scrolling for some sunshine maybe, or some opportunity that you can jump on, and
yeah,
you know, it's one of those things that you have to do as a musician,
sure, or as an artist of any facet, you know. Like
I guess any business in today's day and age. Like, so,
man,
but I think you need to take a day, maybe a week, that you just need to say, you know what, I'm not gonna do this.
I mentioned many times that in the beginning of all of this, like I was pretty depressed. She could tell you, you know, and then after that first couple of weeks, I was like, I kind of succumbed to it, and I was like, you know what, I've wanted a vacation. I didn't want it like this, but now I'm gonna take it, you know. And then it was kind of nice, you know. It was kind of a nice segue into vacation time, or like, you know, that forced retirement.
I agree with that. You kind of need, like for me, I didn't have time to do certain things, like the 2 singles that I've released came out of that. Okay, it's songs that I've written probably a year ago, but I never had time, or you know, to record that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to find something to do while this was all going on, because you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an opportunity to put music together and record, do some recording.
Yeah, so that's what I did.
That's killer. No, it's great. Well, what do you say we warm these people up and get them to know you? I know we probably have some of your people tuning in, but I know that my people would love to get to know you a little bit better. You guys, you're not going to be disappointed, because Vern has one of the most incredible voices I've heard in recent times. Honestly, man. Thanks. Like, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass because you're here, but truthfully, I'm very, very honored to have you on the show, because you are a great talent, and I'm very excited to share it with everybody out there. So without further ado, you guys, give it up for Vern Daysel.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna play a song from my first album. This one's called Shit Creek. Standing on a mountain, but all I see is a black cloud hanging. And all I hear is talking, but all the words get blown in the wind. Do they even know what's going on? Do we pack our bags and run? Get your ass out here, run for your life, 'cause all they want is more. No looking back, leave it all behind. Pray to the good Lord. Stuck up Shit Creek again. Circus, the clowns don't seem to give a damn. 'Cause it's a dire situation, skeletons hiding deep in the dark. Oh yeah, will they blind? Is the green grass on the other side? Get your ass out here, run for your life, 'cause all I want is more. No looking back, leave it all behind. Pray to the good Lord. We're stuck up shit creek again. Here, run for your life, 'cause all they want is more. No looking back, leave it all behind. Pray to the good Lord. Get your ass out here, run for your life. All they want is more. No looking back, leave it all behind. Pray to the good Lord. We're stuck up shit creek again.
Yeah!
There you go. Thank you.
Jordan, what did I tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Dude, great job, man. That's killer.
Thank you.
So much soul.
Yeah, we had a couple comments. Dustin Lewis, long-time listener, first-time caller. He said he definitely great vocals. I agree. I have to concur.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I think Sally Joe tuned in and she said that you guys are broadcasting on Sneaky Tiki.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Here we
Or
are
about to,
live.
so hello.
Here we are live from the Sneaky Tiki.
Yeah.
We're live at the Sneaky Tiki. Thank you guys for tuning in at the Sneaky Tiki. We appreciate you.
Definitely one of my favorite venues.
Oh,
That's what everyone says. It's like the favorite.
It's just, I don't know what it is about that place. It's just chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people that go there, I don't know, they're just different, and people really dig the music, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
true.
just because the street is there, and
Yeah.
because a lot of people come in because they can hear you singing from the street, so
That is true.
that's quite
which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice.
Oh, that's killer, man. Well, I do have some questions for you, obviously. So we'll dive right into that. Do you need a cocktail? Are you good? Everything good?
I'm still good.
Still good? All right. What about you, Jordan? How you feeling over
Oh,
there?
I'm good.
All right, because now we're getting into the long run here.
The long
We're getting to the nitty gritty. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to pry too hard. But
Yet.
I do want to go all the way back. Yeah. When did you get into music and decided it was what you wanted to do for a living?
Well, it's funny. I was just reflecting on that a couple of days ago because the 4th of July was my birthday.
Oh, happy
What?
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Happy birthday, Vern.
It seems like the whole America also did something on that day. So.
Kind of a big day, I guess.
So, kind of a big one.
So what happened was, when I was young, I grew up with music in the house. My dad and my brother used to jam guitar all the time, and I never got into music. I was more into sports and stuff. And when I was 14, my mom got me my first drum kit, and that's just, it clicked, man. It was just like I fell in love with that instrument, and there was nothing else that I wanted to do. And then the guitar came about while I was learning to play drums and stuff. The guitar came about, and my brother gave me a couple of what to do on the thing, and
Right. It's good to have that kind of that trickle down.
yeah, and the music that he played in the house, I think he listened to a lot of metal and old alternative 90s stuff, and growing up in an Afrikaans, very Christian household. we got taught that a lot of those things are bad.
Sure. It's the devil's music.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like Metallica's satanic and shit.
Right.
And they ended up being one of my favorite bands of all time, man. I love
what
Metallica.
does that say about you? No.
So especially, that shit changed my life, man. When I got a drum kit and then it was, you try to get into the church band, because you see these guys and like, wow, I just want to be on stage.
Right.
So the first step is like getting into a church band and there's also like in the church scene, there's a hierarchy, of.
You wouldn't think so. But there it
It's
is.
weird. First, there's a hierarchy in your church of who's going to be the main drummer or musician. And then there's a hierarchy of churches where you want to grow. You want to go play in that band.
Right.
Those are the legit motherfuckers, So that's how I started, I think the church experience was a big learning curve for me. It got me onto stage like at an early age. Mm-hmm. Just playing drums, and then I went to music school and I majored in drumming. And that's just, I don't know if you want me to continue.
No, that's crazy. So you started your journey as a drummer,
yes,
and went to school for drumming, which is great. So I have to ask, on your recordings, are you performing the drums on those recordings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
On all of them.
Yes.
Oh my God, dude,
that's me. I did everything except
so
for bass. I stay away from bass guitar. So.
It's a good thing that you've run into some of my friends or one of my particular friends, Mr. Justin Mandel, because he is by far one of the best bass players I've ever worked with. No offense to you guys that I've worked with before, but Justin's on another level.
He's really good.
Yeah, don't you go stealing him away from me. You hear? Well, that's crazy, man. Well, okay, so I do have to ask, only because I'm a little ignorant, I suppose. I do have some friends from South Africa. I worked on cruise ships for many years, so, of course I worked with a lot of these people, but I never really knew much about their music scene. So in South Africa, how is the scene for your style of music down there?
There's no scene for that. To be blunt, it's very difficult for English music to thrive in South Africa. Mm-hmm. English speaking music. Afrikaans music. Afrikaans is my first language.
Sure.
And there's a whole Afrikaans scene that does really well. Even though it's amazing because there's only a little bit of like South Africans, Afrikaans speaking people there, but their music scene really kicks ass over there.
That's awesome. I mean, it's great when a local scene is just thriving,
But
imports.
The English rock music especially, you get your couple of bands that it's anything from probably from around 2008 that things started getting really bad, and I don't know. It's really hard to break out.
Yeah.
That's why for me social media was such a big tool.
Sure.
Because I knew my future wasn't there as a musician. It is internationally. Mm-hmm. That's why since I released my first album, I got so many emails and messages from especially Americans that said, dude, when are you coming to America? And well, sometimes they thought I was from America already.
Sure. I could say, listening to or we were talking earlier, the very first time I met you was at a show that you were in the slot just before me. So I was rolling in with my big stupid cart and you were killing it. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's so great. And then you thanked the audience and I was like, oh my God, where is he from? It was like a shock. And then I was listening harder and I was like, oh, he's from South Africa.
You know what was going through my mind? It was, I need a cart. Like that one. It'll make my life so much easier.
Dude, I know. I saw you packing everything up and I was like, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this guy needs a cart. What is he doing? But that's too funny. So you came here. Now, what year did you originally arrive or at least come in feel out with the waters and see what was going on. What brought you to the Treasure Coast?
Okay. So about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit more than 3 years ago, I got contacted by a guy called James Lane, who he was in contact with Switching Whiskey when they started putting this project together. They had a very specific vision in mind, what they wanted to do with the band, and they couldn't find someone locally. And this guy discovered my music through Spotify. And he sent them the links, and these guys were like, cool, that sounds like he can be our guy.
Right up the alley, yeah.
We've got a problem, he's in, he's in South Africa.
Very, very, very far away.
Yeah. So they dropped me a mail on Facebook and said, and the guy called James, he sold me like this whole story. And I was like, you know what, this is my opportunity. I've been wanting to come to America. It's funny, I told a story. I had this little journal, and I wrote when I was about 18 or something. I wrote in the journal, my goal is to come to America and play music one day. And now that I'm 34, it's finally happened.
Happy birthday.
So thank you. Yeah, so that's the story. The guys, I took them up on the thing. I was like, cool, you know what? I am really interested. You guys are into the same music as I am.
And talk about in their own right, an eclectic, very tight group of musicians. I had the opportunity to see them while you were out of the country, and our good friend Bradley Saint was kind of like filling in the shoes during that time, and like I was just blown. I was like, these guys are gonna blow up. Like they're just the stage presence, the technical ability, and the soul that they put into their music. Yeah, that I'd say that was a good call.
Yeah, you know what? They're a bunch of passionate individuals, and I'm just lucky that they contacted me. And you know what? I came here 3 years ago to check it out with my wife. It was kind of like a honeymoon before we even got married. So
nice little
we did
vacation
it the
trip.
other way. We did it the other way around. So we came and we met with the guys, and we had a jam, and we loved the area. We loved Florida, and the guys, and we just talked about music all the time, and it was like all these similarities of like, oh man, people who actually understand what I like, and And then it took about 2.5 years after that to get here.
Right.
A very difficult process. Lots of saving up, working with immigration lawyers and immigration,
Yeah, that whole debacle.
It's a bitch, man. It's really a mission. I had to prove everything. I had to document everything that I've done through my whole musical career, basically.
It's wild.
And it ended up being this. It was almost a 1,000-page document with all the legal things as well,
For those of you who don't know, like, just imagine 1,000 sheets of paper. Like, I guess what is a ream, Jordan? You would know this. A ream of paper is what, 500 sheets?
Oh yeah, I guess
That's
like
that's
okay.
crazy.
It was all one-sided, if I have to say.
Oh,
it was all one-sided,
okay.
So.
That
Someone
makes
actually read
massive
all of that?
difference.
Well,
like,
I think that's the strategy. They try to just overwhelm the guy that's sitting there that has to go through it and has to make the final decision. Because I was scared, man. I was like, you know what? Your life is in the hands of one individual, dude.
Right.
And what if that guy hates rock and roll or whatever? Or he's like, mom, ran away with some rock star or something. And this guy's like,
I feel like there should be a panel of people.
No, fuck this
you
guy.
get a jury.
So yeah, that's how I got to eventually, got the approval, which was amazing. And it was a great feeling after all the stress and all the tears and all that shit, and
No doubt.
And then in September of 2019, I arrived, and Jonathan Hatchett, the bass player of Switching Whiskey, he picked me up at the airport in Fort Lauderdale, and now I'm here.
And now he's here.
Woo.
That's awesome, man.
Nice.
I've not gotten to see you with the band yet. I'm very, very excited to get an opportunity to see that. So let's go back to 2016.
Okay.
When you dropped your first record, Shooting the Breeze. Yes. Was that recorded here, or was that recorded in South Africa?
That was recorded in South Africa. Mostly by myself.
Mm-hmm.
In my home studio I had at home.
Nice.
And then I did the drums at another studio. Drove about 4 hours to go do the drums. I did the drums in probably 4 hours. A span of 4 hours.
That's so smart, because drums are the worst to record on the planet, I think. Maybe that or the didgeridoo. It might be a massive toss-up between the worst instruments to have to try to record yourself.
So I had to know exactly what I'm going to do on the drums. I had to really prepare because I didn't want to waste time.
Right, sure.
I didn't have money to spend on a lot of studio time and shit. So I was like, no, I need to nail it. 1 take, maybe 2 takes, and get through the album.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then I sent it off. When everything was done, recorded, I sent it off to my buddy Dylan Ellis, who's a South African that stays in Canada.
He went a little further north than you, just a little bit.
Yeah, he started in Dubai, so.
Oh wow!
And then whatever. That's another story. And he put it all together. He produced it and mixed it, and and I think it sounds pretty good.
It's great. I mean, I'll tell you, when I listened to it, right off the bat, it gave me vibes of ZZ Top, Buck Cherry, and just a little dab of Skynyrd.
Cool.
I really was like listening to the whole thing. I was like, and I'm a fan of Buck Cherry. Like, I think that they were the hardest thing that came out of the 2000s in that real rock and roll thing. I think your music or songwriting is superior to theirs, but that kind of just intensity that they give, I felt that in your record, man. What was your main influence going into that record?
Yeah, I guess because it's like a little snapshot of where you were in time.
Sure.
So I guess at that time, I've always wanted to do that because I've been part of other bands where I was trying to be something else. Like I used to be in this band called Night Hawk, and that was like my 80s music love.
Okay.
White Snake, Def Leppard, and all that stuff. And I was trying to do that, and then eventually, because I've always had the Southern rock thing, Southern rock bluesiness, and I think that it just happened to be what I could. It was just like me pouring out on what I had at that time. Even maybe a little bit of Zac Brown in there, if you think about some of the lyrics.
He's one of our favorite bands to go and see live. And I could definitely pick up on that, like, especially in their live work, because they are a musical band.
Yes.
Very intricate, very tight, and I definitely got those vibes off of all your recordings, really. But as a first shot out in the dark, like that's definitely a good first jam.
What's that one song? Zac Brown's got a song on it's called Unchanged and something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But they've got a drum solo in the song. And I'm like, that never happens. That doesn't happen anymore, that people do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I did a drum solo. And I think it's I don't know if it's the first track on my first album, but there's a drum solo in the middle of the song. Because I thought, you know what? Fuck it. Why not?
Why not?
Just do it, man.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't think that a lot of people that dive into your library straight away would realize that it was you putting most of that music together, that recording those instruments, save the bass. But knowing this now, like, it makes it so much more special because that's good work, man.
Thank you, man.
Like, the whole instrumentation is great work. In the same year, just at the other end of it, you released your second album, Blood of the Wolf.
Yes. Okay.
Or Blood of a Wolf, I'm sorry.
On Spotify, it says 2016, but it's actually 2017.
Okay, so it was a next year's release. Okay.
Yeah. So, with that album, same thing. Obviously, I learned a lot from the first one.
Sure.
I think I got better as a writer. And that one, where I recorded the drums the first time, also I did it the second time as well. But that's the guy who actually mixed it and produced it and all that stuff. So, and then I sent it to the US for mastering.
Man, I will tell you, my initial, when I listened to it, I recognized that it had the same full intensity as the first record, with a noticeably more polished product. Everything was cleaner. Everything kind of like your voice and everything just seemed to sit nicer in them. It's like a learning curve that you'd arrived at. The songwriting definitely was more concise. Overall, I was blown away by the record. I thought it was such a good record. I felt a little gypped that there's only 10 songs on there, as opposed to the last record that had a little more. Oh, yeah. But dude, it sounded great. It was great. And that was 2017.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The reason why there's 10 on, I don't know. It was, I probably had more songs that I could put on there, but I didn't want to just fill it up with something that's maybe not as good as, and that won't fit with the whole vibe.
What do they call fluff songs? You know.
Yes, and the last song on the album, Sinner, is actually a Whitey Morgan song. Whitey Morgan.
Oh, he's wearing the shirt.
So when I first heard that song, I've never knew about that song before. It was just something that came up on a random YouTube playlist, and I've been a Whitey Morgan fan forever. And when this song came up, it didn't sound like anything Whitey Morgan's ever done, and I thought it sounds like it sounds like my album,
right?
So I got the rights and all that stuff for the album, for the song, and yeah, I put it on there because it suits the album. I think it's
definitely a good closer for that record. I was because I was listening, you know, and then that track came on, and it's noticeably different, but also congeals perfectly with the flow, but it was enough for me to like stop what I was doing and listen.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, the record ended.
I feel like the second album might be a little heavier, maybe a bit darker. I think
I got that vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely like me. I don't want to be a guy that writes songs to be on radio. If it goes on radio, that's cool. But sure. I don't want to be, man, I need to stick to the 3-minute, 30-second thing, you know.
Right, a format writer.
Exactly. And so I've always tried to just be me and whatever. If the song's going to be 4 minutes or 4.5 minutes, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you have a song that you'd like to play off of that?
Oh, let me think.
Or do you want to segue us into one of your new singles that you just recently dropped?
Oh yes, that'll be cool. Are you gonna play the video? Or
no, I don't have the video.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you could jam it out for us.
I'll do the one. It's the one called Gold Digger.
I love it. Awesome. You guys, give it up one more time. I lie. More times.
Many more.
Well, once again, for Vern Daysel.
Woo.
Okay. I've been trying to find a way to articulate, find the words to sing. That you've been lying to a blind man, baby, planted to see it. And now they've grown out of control to all to see. I don't know how you come this far, spreading all your tales. Hide your true reality underneath that veil. 'Cause I see right through you, and all those crazy games you play coming back to rule. Well, do you think you're fooling? Well, sit next in line, and I seen it coming. Yeah, I know you're kind. You're just a gold digger. You're always searching for what's to blame. But when I knew everything, come on, baby, make a change. 'Cause at the end you lose everything. I've been trying to find a way to articulate, find the words to say. That you've been lying to a blind man, baby. Planted your seed. And all this crazy game you play of all the real. Do you think you're fooling? Standing next in line, but I seen it coming. Yeah, I know you're kind. You're just a gold digger. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So I feel like there's got to be a story in that song somewhere. Is that anything that...
I don't think we should talk about that on air.
Well, now I feel like we should. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's probably... I've tried to write a gold digger type song. Like, everybody knows what a gold digger is.
Sure.
This is probably my third attempt at doing it. And I think this one was the best out of the three that I've tried throughout the years. And, you know, you can spot these type of people everywhere. And, you know, it's just, it pisses me off to see people basically stealing money from someone who doesn't know that what's happening.
Right. It almost makes you wonder, though, like, is it stealing... or are they buying this kind of fantasy that these people are putting out there for them, these gold diggers, you know?
Well, I don't know, because who's the dumb person is actually the person who lets the gold digger into their lives, I guess, yeah. You know? That's the person who's... So maybe the gold digger is not the problem. It's the people who...
Exactly. Ding, 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 ding.
It's much better than Kanye's gold digger.
Okay,
I would agree.
Much better.
You've never heard it?
No.
You've never heard Kanye West's Gold Digger song?
No.
Oh, God. I feel like I have to, like, pull up a clip. It's not worth it. You're really not missing much.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man. I did ask you earlier on about your favorite record. And you let me know that it was The Song Remains the Same soundtrack from Led Zeppelin. So what effect did that record have on your music moving? Because you said it affected you pretty early on in your life.
Yes.
So did that have some sort of profound effect on the style of music that you decided to pursue?
I'm definitely. It affected. I think it affected my whole musical journey since I discovered that. The DVD at first. Mm-hmm. When DVDs just came out, I was about 15, and when you rent the DVDs at the Blockbuster movie or whatever, you guys call it Blockbuster, but
oh, you're aging yourself, Vern. We're in the same boat, mate.
So back in the day, they only had like one shelf of DVDs. You know, everything was still VHS.
VHS, yeah.
So there's only one little thing with like maybe 30 DVDs or something. And me being like falling in love with music and shit, I saw this guitar that's like almost like a desert or a rock or whatever, this Les Paul. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I need to see this.
Whatever it is, I need to see this.
And I put it on at home, and it just blew my brains out, man. I didn't know that music can be that thing. The musicianship, the chemistry between, and obviously I didn't understand these things. I just knew that it was amazing.
Right, it existed, yeah.
And as a drummer at that time, I didn't know that a drummer can be like that. Like John Bonham, and he's doing all this stuff. And now thinking back, all the synergy between the bands, the members of Led Zeppelin, the way they listen to each other on stage at certain moments where they know there's climaxes and, you know, valleys and peaks and everything, and everybody, it's like it's one thing that's it's like one mind that's thinking these things, but everybody's doing together, and it shows you that's just what makes up a great band.
Absolutely.
So that DVD blew my mind, because I've heard about Led Zeppelin at that time, but I didn't really listen. I didn't know what they were.
Right.
So that was my first introduction to them, and I rented that DVD so many times that the guy at the shop said, "Dude, nobody else is renting. Don't you just want to buy it?" So like, yes.
You should have just been like, take it home. Take it home with you.
No, he actually charged me for it, man.
Son of a bitch.
I guess DVDs were expensive back then. It was rare.
I guess that's true. That was a minute ago.
So I bought it, and I still have that DVD because I treasure it, man.
Oh my gosh.
It's because it means a lot to me, you know.
Sure.
Aww.
And it opened up all these other things to me, like Van Halen and AC/DC. That's like then my world got open with all these.
Yeah, like a massive gateway, like into all that music. Led Zeppelin was a trailblazing group from go. So many people have been influenced by them.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's funny, younger musicians that we get to interview and hang out with, you know, they talk about groups that inspired them, and it's like that group was inspired by Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd or the Rolling Stones, these people that were dominating music during that time. But Led Zeppelin, man, that was on another level, man. Especially their live work.
I think the way it became part of that it influenced me was, especially I saw what they did live. They don't play the songs like it is on the album. They change it, which is awesome, because no one Led Zeppelin live show would be the same. And I love to improvise. I love to improvise with a band. You know, I love to go down and up and, you know, do crazy shit. So that's definitely stuck with me. And I still listen to them, and I still try to figure out, okay, cool, why is this so cool? But it just is, you know.
It's like a chemist breaking apart the elements that make it the way it is. It's awesome, man. They definitely had it. Jordan and I, we went and saw Peter Frampton recently down in West Palm Beach, and opening for him was Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience.
Oh, wow.
And it was, you know, we were a little late getting in. It was a huge line, a huge queue to get in, and we finally got in. We caught like the last 3 or 4 songs, but his band that he had put together for this project, you could close your eyes and swear that you were sitting at a Led Zeppelin concert. Like, he obviously mimics his father so perfectly, and the singer was just spot on. He was so good, and that was a really cool experience. What really shocked me was how old Jason Bonham is. I was expecting to see, like, I don't know, I was expecting him to see or be my age. But no, he's definitely quite a bit older than me now, considering Robert Plant and all of them are, you know, well into their 70s now.
Yeah.
But it was a very, very cool tribute, and that's a cool act to check out if you guys ever see them coming around, if we ever get back to regular music at a amphitheater type of situation. Yeah. But that's great, man.
I have a random question.
Oh, random away.
Yeah. So do you play solely and also with your band, or just strictly with your band?
I do both.
Okay.
Mostly solo gigs, because that's just what's available, you know, more. Right. And I like doing that, you know. It pays the bills. Mm-hmm. And whenever Switch and Whiskey gets a call, we'll do it, you know. Okay. Obviously, the time we live in, it's difficult for venues to book bands and to commit to bands, because we were booked, you know, all through the year till the end of the year. It's in some venues, and some of the venues just, they don't know if they can still, you know, afford us, because it is, you know, you need to put yourself into their shoes, you know. Now they have to pay 4 guys,
right? So, yeah, no, as a soloist, I was a little taken back by how quickly so many places started hitting me up to perform solo shows, including places that would normally book Justin and I as a duo.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, I guess I can do it, you know, and I obviously reached out to Justin and made sure that he was good in his situation.
Yeah.
And because I would just as easily split a gig with him and make sure that he was getting a piece of the pie anyway. But, you know, it is a trying time for full-fledged bands, you know. Shindig was another place that kind of brought down the amount of people. Now they're not currently having anybody, but they kind of canceled their band lineup to have soloists or duos, and I get it. It's a weird time, man. It's weird. It's interesting. It's fascinating. It's exhilarating, maybe for all the wrong reasons, but it is. You know,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
there's definitely some kind of excitement. You know, that comes with
for better or for worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a wild life that we're living. Yeah. Sorry you rolled in here just before this all went down.
I was just gonna say, you just came here in September and then everything shut down and went haywire.
I know, it's wild, dude. We were in Vegas the week before they shut everything down, and we got home and it was like, you know, I'd blown all my money, and
I got my dirty 30 birthday in.
She got her dirty 30 birthday in. We paid for it in full, and you know, of
Didn't
course,
die.
The week after that they shut everything down, and I was like, well, baby, I hope they don't fire you, because we're gonna need to work something out. But yeah, man. Completely wild. Well, you guys, before we go any further there, we're going to let Vern take a little break, and we're going to turn things over to our very own Jordan.
Oh, it's that time already.
It's that time already. Isn't that wild?
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
It is that time of the week that we get our music history, our news, current events, and celebrity gossip, brought to you by our very own Jordan Taylor.
That's me.
That's you. So sit back and wrap your mind around what you find in the Jordy Files. All right, Jordan, what do you got for us today?
Okay, everyone. So we have a plethora of birthdays today. Starting back in 1940, we have American bass player and songwriter Joe B. Malden. He would have been 80 today.
He didn't make it. He didn't make it, though.
He did not. But that's solid, you know. he old.
He old.
He was the bassist for the Crickets, which I guess was founded by Buddy Holly in the 1950s, and he later became a recording engineer at Gold Star Studios for Phil Spector, Brian Wilson, and other major 60s rock performers.
Oh, Brian Wilson, huh?
Yeah, I knew you'd like that one. And then 1944, we have Jamo Johansson. He is 76, still alive. He was an American drummer and percussionist and one of the founding members of the Allman Brothers Band. They had the 1973 single "Ramblin' Man," and then in solo. Is that how it goes?
No, I feel like that was a little bit more Broadway.
I mean,
but it's something.
I was like, maybe I don't know what "Ramblin' Man" is.
Blah. No, I'm just kidding.
Spirit fingers. And then in 1961, we have Andy Fletcher. He was a bassist, a synth. Is that a thing?
That is a thing.
What is that? Okay. Anyway.
You know, it's like a keyboard, but with like crazy noises.
Oh,
yeah.
Got it. Okay. With English electronic band. Oh no, I forgot. Depeche Mode.
There you
Depeche
go.
Mode.
Yeah. You get an applause.
Thank you. That was hard. I wanted to call it Dispatch Mode for some reason. I don't know why.
This was a
Dispatchy
struggle
mode
earlier.
or something.
She's like, I need to sit down with you, and I need to go over some names.
So I don't embarrass myself. Last week I called, instead of Stephen Wolf, I called it Stephen Wolf. So, here we are.
Stephen Wolf?
Stephen Wolf Group. Even though I loved Magic Carpet Ride since I was like 10, I had no idea what they're called. So anyway, so Depeche Mode, they had sold over 100 million records worldwide in their career, which is fantastic. Also,
we can only wish.
I mean,
we can only wish 100 million.
You're well on your way.
Not going to happen.
In 1961, also, birthday twins, we have Toby Keith. He is 59 also. He is obviously a country music singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor. Apparently he acts. I don't know. He
acts like a damn fool. No, I'm just kidding. I love Toby Keith.
Yeah, he's cute. His debut, Should Have Been a Cowboy, topped the U.S. country charts and was the most played country song of the 1990s. I don't know if anyone knew that.
I believe it to be true.
I can't believe that was the 90s. Right? Like,
it was the 90s, yeah.
Ugh, so old.
Fucking wild, man.
In 1962, we have Joan Osborne. She is 58. She is a singer and songwriter who had the 1996 single One of Us, which is a classic.
Yeah.
She also toured with Motown sidemen the Funk Brothers.
The Funk Brothers. I got to see them, actually. I was working on a cruise ship at the time, and we hosted the legendary Rhythm and Blues Cruise, which was just on another level of cool. And Joan Osborne was there with the Funk Brothers and performing. And she did perform One of Us, but it was in a very like bluesy, cool style, like a total reimagining of what the song was or is. And it was very cool. She, how old is she? 58?
She is, yes, 58.
Blows my mind, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. We all just keep getting older. And then moving on to the 70s, 1970, we have American singer, songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist Beck David Campbell. He is 50.
I heard he's a loser, baby.
So that was a good one. But on Dunch.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
You get crickets for that?
Oh,
no,
the crickets. Oh, I thought you were going to do the drum. So, yeah, he had the 1994 single Loser from his 1994 album Mellow Gold.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that it's from the early 90s. And then in 1971, Neil Mavers, he was the drummer for The Laws, which their single in 1990 was There She Goes. And moving right along to 1976, we have David Kennedy. He's 43. Oh, my. He is an American guitarist, songwriter, who was a member of Boxcar Racer, which was a band formed by Blink-182 members Tom Long and Travis Barker.
Tom DeLonge.
DeLonge, sorry.
There you go.
Dang it. I knew I'd mess one of them up.
That's retro, man.
And then, last but not least, in 1985, Jamie Cook. I was going to say Mr. It is Mr.
Mr. Cook.
Mr. Cook. He is 34. He is a guitarist with the English rock band Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic Monkeys, yeah.
Happy birthday to all of you.
Yeah, happy birthday to you.
Oh, yeah, you need that track. And then for a little bit of music history, Different Monkeys, the actual Monkeys, in 1967, they began a 29-date tour with the Jimi Hendrix Experience. However, Hendrix was dropped after 6 shows after being told his act was not suitable for their teeny bopper audience.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, at least he made it through 6 shows, you know.
Oh, God.
And then it was lucky for those 6 shows. They got to see Jimmy.
Yeah,
the rest
right?
of them missed out. 1968, we had Pink Floyd kick off their first 20-date North American tour at the Kinetic Playground in Chicago.
Nice.
And then in 1970, the Everly Brothers show started an 11-week primetime slot on ABC TV in the U.S. It began as a summer replacement in 1970 for the Johnny Cash show.
Ah.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash decided to throw it in, huh?
I guess, yeah. Turn it over. And then in 1972, Bill Withers started a 3-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Lean On Me.
Lean on me.
I would join in, but it's too embarrassing. Okay. 1995. Nobody wants to hear that. Besides maybe Jeremy. Yeah.
Vern wants to hear
When
it.
you're not strong. Okay. And then in 1995, TLC started a 7-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with what else? Waterfalls. Great group.
Go chasing waterfalls.
I like this harmony. You need to make some music videos for these songs that are number 1. And then in 1997, this is kind of a sad one, the Weezer fan club founders Michael Allen and her sister Carly, I might be saying the name wrong, I don't know.
Carly? That's a tough one to mess up.
It's Mykel. That's like Michael, right? Or is that
Michael?
Michael?
Oh,
I don't
let's
know.
just say
Whatever.
Michael.
We'll say Michael, even though it's a girl. Whatever. Both died along with their young sister Trista in a car accident in Colorado on the way back from one of the band's shows.
Oh, wow.
The girls were later honored through many tribute songs, including Weezer's Michael and Carly and Jimmy Eat World's Hear You Me.
Oh.
So that's kind of nice that they had some
It's
tributes.
a nice tribute, yeah.
And then, entering the 2000s, in 2007, Prince was forced off stage by police halfway through his set at the First Avenue nightclub during a late-night gig in his hometown of Minneapolis. The club was only allowed to stay open until 3 a.m., but Prince took the stage at 2:45 a.m.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, classic Prince move.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Such a Prince. And then, last little factoid for the music history. And everyone will love this, because who doesn't love Drake? 2016, Canadian rapper and singer Drake joined Adele, Michael Bublé, and Taylor Swift as the only artists in the 2010s decade to have an album remain at number 1 on the Billboard 200 for 6 consecutive weeks.
Wow.
So congrats to all of them.
All right, Drake.
Yeah.
All right, Drake.
And then for some little Jordy Tea factoids.
Love the Jordy Tea.
Yes. So sad little factoid we have to talk about is that legendary Charlie Daniels passed away on Monday, July 6th in Nashville, Tennessee from a massive stroke at the age of 83.
I'll tell you what, though, 83.
It's a solid.
Yeah, let me get to 83.
Yeah.
That would be legendary.
Ah.
I don't know how you feel, Vern, but like 83 to me, that seems like a life well lived.
If you think about the full life that guy's lived.
Oh my God.
For sure.
I read his autobiography.
Nice.
And dude, it's just full of life. It's just like you live life 100% every single day. And he talks about playing in a cover band 6 nights a week and how he got through the ranks,
Wow.
climbed the mountain and and he was still doing it. Like if he could, like obviously the
yeah,
shit,
I did read an article that said, that he continued to tour not because he had to, but because he wanted to make sure that his road crew and all of his people were employed, Yeah. And I remember seeing him many years ago. It's like one of my first concerts ever, and he was performing with Hank Williams Jr. and just all these other legends, and it was just an amazing show. And he was pretty advanced in age back then, and he killed it, man. One of the best fiddle players I've ever heard in my life. It's wild. R.I.P. Charlie Daniels.
Yes. And at least it wasn't the Corones.
At the very least.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh, the Corones got him too.
Oh, no.
But then I was like, nope, natural-ish kind of death. That's, I don't know, maybe it's not a natural, but it's definitely more normal.
I guess.
Yeah, so. And
perhaps at 83 years old.
yeah, it's a normal cause of death or common. Anyway, so then, this will get mixed reviews, but probably all the same review. Kanye West, I don't know if y'all heard, is running for president, maybe.
Cue
Cue the circus music.
Oh, we should do some sort of hybrid of the presidential march and the circus music.
But it might be too late, I heard, maybe for him to join. So maybe he's just blowing smoke up his own butoxy. I don't know. But
Well, the thing is, you can always use him as a write-in if he's not able to get on the ballots. Yeah.
Oh, so keep your eyes peeled for that fun ballot.
I also read an article today. I have no idea what value it has in news-wise, but he's, you have the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, the Independent Party. He's running under the birthday party, is what I read.
Is he going to wear his birthday suit?
God, I hope not. I really hope not.
Oh, gosh. And then, last but not least, super cool, Mr. Ringo Starr, with the best name around, he just celebrated his 80th birthday yesterday, and he had a big birthday special virtual live stream.
I heard about this.
And it was an hour of peace and love and rock and roll with a little help from his friends.
Wait a minute.
I stole that from the tagline. Yeah, I'm not that clever.
Oh, but it's so
Shouldn't
good.
sell myself short like that.
Oh, Ringo Starr, 80 years old, huh? Man. I heard Paul McCartney was a part of that. And Joe Walsh was there from the Eagles, and Sheryl Crow and a bunch of other people were there, kind of doing that thing. That's something I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
He's kind of he's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
he's
kind of a big
he banged
deal.
on some drums. He did some things back in the day.
One time when I went to L.A., we saw his gate. Not even his house, but his gate, and it had 5 stars on it, like little stars. Or maybe it wasn't 5, but he had
Maybe it's the
Stargate.
5 hit songs he didn't play drums on.
Maybe.
Oh, see, there you go.
I don't know if
So maybe it was 5. I think I have a photo of it somewhere.
Oh, God love him.
Hidden.
He's still hanging around. That's
Yep.
pretty good.
So that is all we have today.
Oh, that's the
for-
Jordy.
That is the Jordy.
That's a Jordy Files. Not bad.
Thank you.
Good Jordy Files today.
He's very lengthy. Lots of news today.
All kinds of good stuff.
It's a big day.
Nice. All right, Jordan. Thank you for all that. Anything you want to weigh in on, Vern?
No, not really. It's just, I think I weighed in on the Charlie Daniels thing a little. And,
Taking it all in.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I mean, that was one of the first records I had stolen from my stepfather out of his record collection was Charlie Daniels' Greatest Hits, man. And it's still one of the albums I could probably put on and know every song without looking at the the song list, track list. I could probably know every song that's coming up. It's wild, man.
and people don't realize, people see him, and to me, when I discovered him, really discovered him, I never knew what a good guitar player he was.
Right.
Because I knew he was a fiddle player.
Sure.
And stuff, but I was looking up some footage of some old-ass concerts that's from probably 74, around there.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his band, and I think they had 2 drummers. And he's just ripping it, man. Together with a lead guitar player,
Right.
kicking ass, man. He's such a good guitar player.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
really talented dude, man.
Absolutely. Super talented musician. Definitely a great loss to the music community, especially in country music. But he kind of did bridge a gap, though, between country music and rock and roll back in the 70s. And his whole band was really forefront of that. I feel like he was kind of like the opening door to bands like Zac Brown Band, who we were mentioning earlier, and just that kind of musicianship that happens. You don't see that a lot, certainly in pop country. But then you have guys like Chris Stapleton that kind of, that band is on another level, and he's been cutting his teeth for 100 years.
Have you seen Zac Brown do The Devil Went Down to Georgia?
I don't know if I have.
Dude,
I don't know if I have.
They play it at it's already a fast song. They do it at hyper speed.
Oh my God.
And the fiddle player is just amazing. And Zac Brown rips it on an acoustic guitar.
Oh,
It goes
dude.
at that speed. It's like... It's
Wild.
crazy. Just, you have to look it
I'll
up.
have to look it up. We've seen him twice.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should have, who knows, the things that go on at those concerts. The tailgating is not kind to us sometimes. Have you seen, since you've been here, have you seen any good Any good concerts here prior, obviously, to COVID?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have. The first one I saw was Steel Panther.
Oh yeah! Did you see them down at the Abacoa Town Center down there in Jupiter?
No, I saw them at the Alba Room. No, sorry, not the Alba Room. The Culture Room in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, I bet that was good too.
And it's such a cool venue because it's not too big.
Mm-hmm.
So I was about, I don't know. I work in meters, everybody. So I was about 10 meters from the stage.
How many feet is that? Jordan, look that up for us.
Siri, help us out here.
What is a meter?
This is a meter.
That's what you put the money in when you gotta like pay for parking, right? I'm just kidding.
So that was really good because I've been a fan of Steel Panther since around 2010 or whatever, when me and my buddies discovered it, and we were like, whoa, these guys are amazing. And to see them live, and they really delivered, man. There wasn't any glitch in the show. It was almost too perfect. It was so good. That blew my mind. And then on New Year's, we went to see probably my favorite band, Blackberry Smoke.
Okay.
In Orlando, the House of Blues, and Bishop Gunn opened for them, and then it was Blackberry Smoke.
I'm not familiar with them, so I have to Blackberry Smoke. I'll have to look them up for sure.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
probably the biggest like southern rock band at the moment. If Lynyrd Skynyrd's basically passing the torch to them.
Okay,
as the forebearers of southern rock.
Okay, I love it.
And that was just good. So amazing. Also one of those bands that I've just seen live footage on YouTube or whatever, and I've been following them for years and online and listening to them, and to see them live was such a big an experience, especially for my wife, who is also a huge fan. And then the guitarist from Switch and Whiskey, Kobe, he's seen them a couple of times. He's actually met the guys. He knows the whole... Because Blackberry Smoke is kind of like, their fan base is very culty in a way. So everybody knows each other. It's this family that like travels with the band, like the Grateful Dead type of vibe. And Kobe says to one of the big fans, "Hey man, can't you organize a meet and greet with the guys for Vern?" Because they had a meet and greet afterwards. And this guy's like, "Hey brother, come with me." And I've never met this guy in my life. He's like, "Come, hey brother." I'm so nervous because I know I'm gonna meet these guys that I've looked up to. I've learned so many Charlie Starr licks, and he's probably one of my favorite front men because he's a guitar player, singer, and I look up to that guy like a lot.
No kidding.
And now the whole band standing is smiling at me, and
I don't know what to say.
Exactly. All I can say is like, "Thank you." Thank you. That's the only words. And Charlie Starr's like, "No, thank you, man. Thank you for coming to my show." Like, like a complete fucking caveman, man. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So
God, being starstruck is real, man.
It is.
It's so
man.
real.
Like I thought I'd be all cool, what's up, man? No.
Dude, it's funny, man. Like I'm a huge lover of local music, and we get starstruck pretty often here when we have artists come in. You are not an exception, by the way. We've been talking for days about this show, having you on here, and listening to your music and talking about it. So it's great to have you here. Other artists like Johnny Depp was a huge starstruck moment for us when he came in. He's definitely probably one of the biggest local artists around town. To have that just chilling in our little lounge was so cool, man. And it's so interesting to get to meet you guys on a different level, but it's real. Being starstruck is real. I'm awaiting the day where we get our first our first like John Mayer or Eric Clapton to roll through. It just happened somehow the stars align and we get them here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, you're in my house. I don't know what to do.
And to those guys, you're just another dude,
Right,
those guys, like, I've done this a million times before. They meet people every night, obviously. Yep. So I think it's important. And what I saw with those guys is that they had the sincerity of, obviously they've met millions of people everywhere they go in the world. This is what they do, a meet and greet. So for them to take their time and actually talk to me a little and say thank you for coming to our show, I was like, dude, thank you for playing. Thank you for being alive.
Thank you for being alive. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's so funny.
I have a couple of comments.
Oh,
So Hatchet said that we need to ask Vern if he needs more whiskey.
Vern, do you need more whiskey?
I think it's almost time.
It's almost that time,
Almost time.
folks.
Yeah.
It's just about time.
He knew. He
He
knew.
knew.
I know, because he's the main man of Switch and Whiskey.
Oh, all right, Hatchet. Well, thank you for tuning in, man.
Yes.
We're definitely going to have to, I think, once social distancing becomes less of a thing, I would love to have all of you guys here. And even if you did like kind of a broke down set or kind of an acoustic set, I'd definitely love to interview the rest of the band. That would be super
that would be
cool.
really cool.
Yeah,
That'll be really fun, and we've been working on a acoustic set, so it'll be perfect.
Oh, nice.
well, let's talk when you guys are ready to debut it, and we'll blow it up.
And then
Awesome.
Margaret said that she loves some blackberry smoke, and she said that her dad and Sue know them well.
No kidding. So they've been around for a while. This isn't like a new up and coming band. Like they're
No.
deep ingrained. Yeah.
Whenever I talk about new music, I always bring up Blackberry Smoke, but they've actually been going for probably more than 20 years now.
No kidding. Yeah. Well, my Aunt Sue and my late uncle were massive fans of Southern rock. They used to do all the rock and roll cruises.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they were part of like the Leonard Skinner cruises and all these things, and then they would always go. So they were really good friends, actual friends with these bands. So yeah, if anybody knew them, it would be them. Blackberry Smoke.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I gotta check them out for sure.
You
I'm
you
making a
won't be
note.
you won't be disappointed.
I'm making a note.
I better not be. I'm coming for you. Oh man. What do you say?
And then also, sorry, it just what you were about to say reminds me.
You gotta
We had a
whenever you break
few-
in that way, you gotta say, "Oh, breaking news!"
Breaking news. This just in. Actually, it was in like 25 minutes ago. But we had some requests for, I don't know if it's possible, but a Zeppelin cover.
Ah.
If you're up for the
See the
challenge.
look on his face.
He's like, no, these people did it to me. Or maybe a song that sounds, I don't know. Just some Zeppelin.
Who
was
made that
requested.
goddamn request?
Freaking
I guess
Terry
it's time for a song then.
and Margaret.
Time for a song. All right.
Time for a song. Song time.
It's song time.
I'll do my best. Kind of like Led Zeppelin type of thing. I know it's not gonna be that great. But
listen
be
to
wonderful.
very
I know.
very modest over here.
Should I pour another one of these like crazy
why not?
buckaroos? Or no, what are they called?
Springbucky.
Springbucky.
And the funny thing is I'm actually wearing some Impala fur on my arm, which is a springbucky. A springbuck is a type of Impala.
Okay.
Oh.
So I'm wearing some fur just to
How's
represent.
that?
Nice.
You know, that's something I didn't know. I didn't realize that it was
I
an
didn't
animal. Yeah.
Oh yes, the springbuck is South Africa's national animal.
I guess that makes sense with the the titular shot there.
And the rugby team is called the Springbucks. So,
That makes more sense.
yeah.
I did read that it was a popular drink with footballers.
Yes.
Yeah. Or for you Americans out there, soccer players. All right, you guys. Okay, here we go.
I'll give it a go. I'll do. I'll probably won't do the whole song, but let's just give it a go. For who said they want Led Zeppelin?
It was Terry and Margaret.
Okay, Terry and Margaret. Thank you. You need cooler, baby. I'm fooling. I'm gonna send you back to school, yeah. Way down inside, honey, you need it. Gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love, yeah. What a whole lot of love. What a whole lot of love. What a whole lot of love. You've been learning Baby, I ain't learning all the good times, baby. I've been yearning way down inside. On the unit love, I'm gonna give you my love. Gonna give you my love, yeah. What a whole lot of love. 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 Way down inside, woman, you need. Way, what a whole lot of love, just a whole lot of love. What a whole lot of love, what a whole lot of love. Yeah, a whole lot of love, a whole lot of love, just a whole lot of love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you.
Awesome, dude.
You have a great voice, even off the headphones. I was like, oh wow.
I know, dude. Had like
Even off the headphones.
Even off the headphones.
I got goosebumps because I was coming back into the studio here and was like, oh my god.
You don't even need that reverb or this microphone.
Thank you.
I
like
strip it
reverb.
down.
Yeah, strip it down. So good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that satisfies your request needs out there. Thank you again for listening at Sneaky Tiki. We heard earlier that you guys are having us up there on the television screen there at the Sneaky Tiki. So, Sally Joe,
Yeah.
that's for you. Thank you so much. Hey, you guys, make sure that you take care of them out there for tuning us in here. Awesome. Well, we do have a little segment here. Are you familiar with the television show? It was on the air for many, many years. It's called Inside the Actor's Studio.
No.
Never heard of this?
I haven't either.
So, the legendary host of this show, Mr. James Lipton, passed away this year, and we decided to resurrect his interview that he does at the end of each show. Now, what they do is he takes massive actors and brings them in and just interviews them about their lives, and it's pretty good. If you've never seen it, you should check it out. Otherwise, you might not understand these questions. It's a rapid fire kind of like one quick answer interview. Sorry that I didn't give you a heads up on it. No. But it's more fun. I found that it's more fun this way.
Yeah. So the first word that comes to mind.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. I ask you a question, and it's the first thing that comes to your mind, and you just kind of go with it. And because this is taken from Inside the Actor's Studio, it is our tribute to the great James Lipton. And again, we reprise this interview from the television show and put our guests on the hot seat. So with that in mind, we're going to do a little scene switch and go over to Inside the Lipton Tea. Oh. And there we are. We didn't get the intro. Here's the intro.
There is a video.
There's always a video.
We didn't get to see it.
You didn't get to see it.
No.
I got to see it.
Yeah.
Everybody else got to see
Everybody
it.
else. You can imagine it's great.
Oh, you can imagine that it's great. Here, let me put it up there for you all to see in glorious HD.
That's beautiful.
It's so nice, right? I have to get into character here, though. So let me get you centered up here. so you don't look so far over.
Perfect.
And in tradition of James Lipton, I might have to show you a clip of him later so you get it. Gotta get it. I gotta get into character.
Me too.
An actor.
Vern Daysel, welcome to Inside the Lipton Tea. Are you ready for your first question?
I'm ready.
What is your favorite word?
Oh my, I can't say that on air. Oh man.
Save that word for another question.
Okay.
So what's your favorite word? Other than that one.
Cat.
Cat.
That's just the first thing that came to mind. Okay.
What
I
is
almost
your,
said another C word. Okay.
what is your least favorite word?
Discharge.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What turns you on?
Man, these are hard, man.
You're telling me somebody
Yeah.
turned the tables on me recently, and it was really hard. That's why I kind of feel a little bad.
What turns me on? I don't know. I'm not fussy about shit.
You should say that your wife turns you on if she's watching.
Music.
Yes, my wife turns me on.
There you go.
Or whiskey.
What turns you off?
Anybody but my wife.
Ah, nice. Golden
What
answer.
sound or noise do you love?
The sound of a Les Paul plugged into a Marshall cranked.
God, that is a good one. What sound or noise do you hate? See, there's a trend here.
The sound of a bad drummer. Ooh, that's harsh. That's
No.
nothing against bad drummers. I was bad too at one stage. I'm still quite bad, but
He said what he said.
He said what he said. What is your favorite curse word?
Afrikaans or English?
Can we get both?
Yes. In Afrikaans, there's a word that's very expressive called poes, and it's like, and in English, I like the word fuck. I really don't like the word fuck, but I like the C word. But I know like people freak out when it's
No, that was also mine.
It's got power. It's got depth. You know?
If I'm saying it, I'm meaning it.
Yeah.
and so
You shouldn't just use it every day. You should use it when you mean it. You know?
yeah, I would say the F word is probably my most used
No, I don't even see it as a cuss word anymore. I just think it's become
part of language.
But I think the way you should cuss is by using it sparingly. So when you say it, it's got some power.
Now let's go back to poos
true.
real quick. What does that mean in Afrikaans?
I kind of think you guys want to know.
Well, now I want to know.
No. Oh, fuck. Poes.
Oh, poos.
Oh, poes. Poes is like the C word in Afrikaans.
I figured as
get,
much.
You get the C word in Afrikaans, which is with a K, which makes it even worse.
So much.
Because everything in Afrikaans is so much worse. You know, it's a very strong language. And It's very expressive. So when you call someone a poes, it's very whoa. You know, like whoa. It's got like he's punching someone in the face. You know, and what you would say is yo ma's a puss. Which is almost like your mother's cunt. There we go.
Perfect. That is powerful.
Yeah.
But in Dutch, a puss is a cat.
Yes.
You know, so.
Yes. I was actually just telling Jordan because I worked for a Dutch cruise line for many years. So like I picked up on several things, and many of my South African friends speak Afrikaans. So we get a little drunk in the crew bar, and it all comes out. And I'm very, very sure that I've been called a poes before. Very, very sure. All right, moving right along.
On that note.
What profession, other than your own, would you like to try?
Oh, man.
That's a tough question because this is what I've always done.
Yeah, and it's your dream
Yeah,
job. So,
so-
I mean, yeah.
Well, before I wanted to be a musician, I've always wanted to be a professional cricket player.
Oh, cricket.
Because that was my first
A
love
cricket?
in life.
cricket player.
Cricket player.
And I spent many years doing that and learning how to be a good cricket player, and then music just took over my life. So
Oh, wow.
Probably for the better because I don't know. In here anyway,
I would
we
never
make
come
fun
to-
of cricket pretty
I
hard.
know I would never come to America if it was if it was a pro cricket.
I guess that's fair.
Because South Africa's pretty badass in cricket. So
What job would you not do under any circumstance?
a chartered accountant,
What was that?
an accountant.
Oh, an accountant of any kind. Yeah.
It's just I'm not good with that stuff. So it's just something I don't gravitate towards at all.
So we're assuming that your wife deals with the bills and everything.
Not at all. She's an artist herself. So
Oh, that house.
They have someone do it for them.
no.
You better start making millions, man.
Yeah.
'Cause-
See, I can do the basics, what I need to do, but it's not my favorite. Because obviously, in today's day and age, being a musician, you need to kind of do everything yourself.
yeah.
So you have to learn a little bit of those things. But my wife being a badass artist as well, you know. So
Leaves little to the accountant side of everything.
What does she do?
she's her main profession is a graphic designer.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
She does all my designs. If you guys see it, that's
Mhm.
her doing that shit.
Nice.
But she paints, and recently she's gotten into sculpting.
Ooh.
No
So,
kidding.
I would-
Oh, you know what? I feel like I've seen a post recently or a photograph of a little statue that she had made of you,
Yes.
and I was like, "That's so cool."
Oh, that's cool. That's so
And
cool.
the thing
It
is-
was so neat.
She just picked it up like that, which is amazing. I wish I was as talented as her in what I do. She just picks up new skills like this. And
That's awesome. Incredible. One more question for you here in the Lipton Tea. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
pass a doobie to the left-hand side.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk a little bit about your reggae influence here because I'm with Steel Pulse, and just that is kind of leading me onto that. But this has been your Lipton Tea with Vern Daysel.
Whoop, whoop. Beautiful.
Oh, and we're back. Probably everybody's camera's turned off, but
Except for there.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
every time,
Every time.
and every comment that was ever invented on Earth.
Oh, yeah. We're blown up.
We're blowing it up. So when it comes to reggae music, with Steel Pulse, who, by the way, if you have not talked to Justin about Steel Pulse, it's one of his favorite bands. He'll tell you all about it. Like, he's blown away by he turned me on to them. I guess before we get into that, though, let's do these shots.
Oh, the shorts.
Before they get all funky. Oh my God, all the cameras were on. I'm blown away.
Whoa.
Cheers.
I want you guys to roll your R's when you say it. So
Springbok.
Springbok.
There we go.
Is there any kind of tradition with these shots other than just shooting them?
No, you just drink it and run around and fight.
Perfect. Let's do that.
Oh, so tequila. I said they would be like a good St. Patty's Day
Oh, yes.
because they're green
it's
and
green.
stuff, and yeah,
It's good.
and they're minty.
Very nice.
Delicious.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is a bit girly.
That's pretty dangerous.
It is a bit girly, but
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
That's
good.
why we have these little red cups so nobody can see what we're drinking.
exactly.
Exactly.
And we're not really layering it. It looks kind of crazy. When I put it in, it looked like tie-dye explosion.
I know. Like I was like,
like, whoa.
everyone was like, "Oh, this is a very easy shot to layer," and I was like, I tried it, and I was like, I'm pretty good at this, and this is not easy.
Yeah, I tried to pour really slow too.
But so Steel Pulse, or reggae in general, is that a thing in South Africa, or is that something that you just picked up because somebody was like, "Oh, you should listen to this kind of music, or you should listen to this band"?
I like reggae.
I don't like reggae. I love it.
Okay. I don't like cricket. I love it. There's a song like it. It's actually a reggae song.
Yeah.
My introduction to reggae was more from music school where you have to learn. There was a subject called form, where you have to learn what makes like a reggae song or a country song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, like you learn about reggae one drop and all that stuff, and what the bass does and what the keyboard does, which was really cool.
How
Very
interesting.
I've never really gotten deep into reggae, but I love Bob Marley, man. I really dig Bob Marley.
It's absolute revolutionary.
To me, it's feel good music. I really love to put it on when I'm just chilling. It really makes you feel good. And a couple of years ago, I discovered Mike Love.
Yeah, Mike Love.
Which really blew me away, because he does this live thing with he's got his percussionist. It's just the two of them, one guy with bongos and a couple of shakers, and I think the song is called Permanent Holiday, and it's like this 8-minute just reggae opus. It's amazing, man. It's just whenever I feel like I'm kind of good, I just watch that. I'm like, no, this guy is really good, and I'm not.
But you need that like bring back to earth moment.
Oh yes, I watch Mike Love because he's such a badass. He's got a beautiful voice, and he's an amazing guitar player, and he does all the looping shit, like a crazy person, and he does beatboxing, and he's great. Oh, wow. Other than that, I really don't know any other reggae.
Oh man, well, you are if you're
other
interested.
Than UB40.
Didn't we just talk about this?
Yeah.
Was it the last show that I think it was with the Little Things. And they said like UB40 is just this completely international phenomenon. Like everybody on Earth like knows UB40 as the reggae band. They're like ambassadors for reggae around the world. Our friend Shanice is from Trinidad, and she was like, yeah, Islanders love UB40. Just this Australian band for no reason, just playing reggae music. It's great.
Yeah, it's very random. But they got some great songs.
They do, and their covers are just superior, man. Like, they're really, really good.
They're effortless.
Well, I love Kingston Town.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
so
dig
good.
that song.
You're in a great. If you dig reggae music, you're really in a great scene for it. There's a pretty good reggae scene around here, between like Miami and Orlando, and maybe even beyond. But like that's just my scope. Orlando has a great reggae scene, and the shows.
Yeah, they actually have this really cool place. What is it called? The Bob Marley House.
Oh,
are
you talking about in
the venue place? Isn't it called Bob Marley?
Oh, in Universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would love that place.
Oh, really?
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool.
It's like his house, but then it's like a outside.
Yeah, it's like
reggae venue.
It's basically like a
bar.
The Bob Marley
shrine.
Club. Yeah, and
it's pretty cool.
It is cool. Our buddies in a band called iResolution.
People throw down
like
there.
They were like they were the house band there. So like the first couple of hours would be just kind of like roots rock reggae, just kind of your standard. And then as the night progressed, like it became like more of like a club. So they would get into all this like dance hall, this like and I don't know whatever that is.
I felt it. That was good. I see where you were going.
And they would just throw down, man, and you just see this place erupt. Like the dance floor would just erupt with people, and it was very cool to see, man. Reggae is a very moving, spiritual experience, and you're at a good spot if you ever want to feel something like that.
It's like anything. When it's done well, it's cool. Mm-hmm. But when it's not done well, it's just it's just another reggae. Because you know what it's got, it's the same as country or same as any I guess music genre where you need to have something unique, because it can easily sound the same as all the other stuff.
Sure.
So.
And in the same vein, it needs to be unique, but also pay tribute to your genre.
Yeah.
Be forward thinking, and that's how I feel about your music. Really, like. It's Southern rock, American Southern rock, full-heartedly, but it has something else. There's a unique element to it. There is something that isn't Lynyrd Skynyrd, it's very, very cool, man. It appeals to me in the way that like, and forgive me, I don't mean this in a negative way, because I have a lot of respect for Keith Urban, but what Keith Urban as an Aussie brings to country music here in the States is something that, American country artists don't bring to the table. Like Keith Urban is an incredible guitar player, and his influences in his music is so unique and different. So when Keith Urban comes on the radio, it's like, oh yeah, that's Keith Urban. Yeah. Hands down, without a doubt, like quintessential. So it's very cool, man. And I find that in your music as well. Do we have a Switch and Whiskey record on the horizon?
Most definitely. We've been working on some originals. We're probably debuting one of the songs this Friday at Crocodilios in Fort Pierce.
Oh.
This Friday, when you say this Friday, are we talking about tomorrow? Or I'm sorry, I forget what day it is. I have no idea what day it is.
It's Wednesday, so in 2 days.
In 2 days.
Ooh.
All right.
So,
what time do you guys play there?
7 till 11.
Okay.
We're going to probably play our new song called Keep It in the Red, which is really a song that suits the band. It's Southern rock, but I don't know what else to say, but it's Switch and Whiskey. That's
I love that. I love that. It's Switch and Whiskey. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Very excited. We might have to pop in.
Oh, you guys have to.
Yeah,
we're gonna have
that
some
would be
fun.
great.
Are you playing on Friday?
I'm not.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, please
I'm
come.
not. So I think she
Plans
says.
are made.
Yeah. Because
You're not playing yet, though.
Yeah.
fair enough.
That he knows of.
These days, if it's like canceled, I'm like, great, day off.
Or Jeff might just give you a call tomorrow.
You never know.
Jeff, lose my number. I'm just kidding.
Just till after Friday.
No, but honestly, we will come out and we'll catch that set because I've been meaning to come out and see the whole band together in this format. Because I said I'd seen it before with Bradley, and I would love to see it with you in its capacity. So that might be a thing.
No, please
I
do.
like it.
Man.
I've never been there.
I'll buy the whole band Springbockies. Springbockies.
Springbockies.
That's if the bar's got Amarula.
Yeah, we'll bring it.
Yeah,
We'll flask that shit.
Jordan's like, we'll bring it.
We'll do it in the parking lot.
There we go. Yeah. We don't want to get you. Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble or anything.
I actually think they only do wine and beer anyway.
Oh, so see, this will be great.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're right. I was thinking of the place next door.
I've never been there.
Right. Yeah,
but
I've
it
never
has
been
the
there.
cutest name.
It does. It's cute.
So
It's cute.
it's adorbs. We have another request. From Bethany. All of the Sneaky Tiki has unanimously requested Jethro Tull.
What?
Is that a song? Is that?
I think the Hall of Sneaky Tiki is high. No.
Did you hear that? Y'all are high
Y'all
out
are
there.
high as hell.
Sneaky tiki.
Does it look like I'm playing a fucking flute? Come on. I love Jeffrey Tull, but come on, man.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Oh god.
I should have fact checked before I shared.
Sitting on a park bench. Yeah.
Get your.
Sorry, I can't eat it.
I think they're called.
Aqualung.
There you go.
God, it's so theatrical.
You got your request.
It's awesome.
You know what? Have you had the opportunity to meet Scott Benge yet? Yes. Okay.
The best.
He's a huge lover of Jethro Tull, and he performs Jethro Tull in his sets to perfection.
Yeah.
It's so good, because he's like a master of his setup with the loops and the things that he does and the effects that he uses on his guitars. Like, honestly, I don't even think he uses loops. I think it's all effects that he uses. But he does Jethro Tull, Aqualung, and I wish that he was here right now because we would. But he's actually having some vocal surgery pretty soon. And he should be back and running in the next few months. So if Sneaky Tiki continues to have us broadcasting during our show here, we'll have him on and we'll do that. But no Aqualung tonight. Nope.
I've never played that song in my life.
Sally
Me-
Jo
me either.
gave some laughy cry faces, and she said, "Give Vern a Lagunitas for me."
She knows what you like.
Oh, she definitely does. She's awesome.
Seriously, no, we love the Sneaky Tiki. And a little sneak peek to those of you listening in at the Sneaky Tiki. We have a very special announcement coming soon about your listening experience on off band hours there. That's all I'm going to say because it's still in the works, but we are drumming something up there with Darren for your ear holes when the bands aren't playing. So stay tuned for that. Very cool. Very exciting stuff. Let's see. Usually at this point in the night, we run through what we like to call our shameless plugs. Okay. So that's our opportunity to kind of run through and talk about where we're going to be, what people need to look at, where they need to go to see what's going on, and what they need to buy. Anything shameless at all.
Cool.
So in this little segment, we like to call Shameless Plugs. Very powerful.
Yeah.
And as always, we're going to let our guest, Vern Daysel, take the lead. Vern, what do we need to be looking for? Where are we going to see you? Obviously, we know where we're going to see Friday night.
Yes.
But let us know what's going on. What do we need to be looking for?
So obviously this Friday is Friday night. Switch and Whiskey will be at Crocodilios in Fort Pierce. We're on at 7, so don't miss that because that's going to be a badass show. It's one of the first public shows that we're going to do after all the quarantine stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be badass. We are eager to get out there and kick some ass.
No doubt.
Whoop, whoop.
And then on the Saturday, I'm going to be at the Tiki Bar in Sebastian.
Nice. One of my favorite places.
I've never been there. So
No? You're going to love it, man.
Okay.
Huge stage area, great crowd, great people. You'll love it.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
And then Saturday, 12th July, I'm going to be at Hurricanes in Palm City, which is going to be a fun one. I think I start at 7 or 8. 7, I think.
I think it's 7 there, yeah.
7. And that's my gigs for the weekend. If you guys want to check it out, all my gigs, go to verndaysel.com or go check it out on my Facebook page and you can go just click on events. And if you guys can please check out my new singles that I've released the last couple of months, Rain and Gold Digger. I would really appreciate it if you guys can share that, share the shit out of it, and show everybody what you've discovered.
Yeah,
whatever.
and we can find that not only on your Facebook page there, but we can also find that on YouTube as well.
Yes,
right?
please. I need some more love on my YouTube. So I've got a lot of content on my YouTube. If people want to tune in, I've got some old footage of me playing live. I've got all my music is everywhere. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music, you can find my music. Go give me some love and give me some streams and yeah, just if you need music in your life, if you like my music, please go listen. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And definitely come and see them on Friday night at Crocodillos.
It's going to be a big one.
Because I will likely be there.
Oh,
so, that's super cool. For my shameless plugs, I first like to say thank you to everyone tuning in live tonight on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Please be sure to give us a like, follow, and a subscribe. And thank you to all of those listening to the podcast on iHeartRadio app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Obviously not listening to it live, but you are listening to it, and I appreciate that. Please go and check out the Brad Brock Music app. It is free on iTunes or the App Store, and it is free on Google Play. It is your hub for everything going on with my one-man band show and the JNC podcast. There's all kinds of cool stuff on there, so download it for free, again, from the App Store or Google Play. Just search Brad Brock Music. Yeah. I only have a couple spots that I'll be performing at this week. Saturday afternoon, I'll be at Costa de Este in Vero Beach at 1 p.m. And on Sunday, you can find me at Hop Life Brewing in Port St. Lucie at 3 p.m. Great spot. We love them. Pierce Cider is working on getting back open for the weekend, so you could potentially find me there on Saturday night at 7 p.m. So I'll keep you posted on that. You can find out all of my upcoming show dates and other info on my website at bradbrock.com, and of course in the Brad Brock Music app. If you're an entertainer, venue, or local business interested in being featured here on the JNC podcast, please reach out to me on Facebook or shoot me an email at booking at brockentertainment.com. I don't even know my own things. But we'd love to talk to you. We'd love to feature your local things here. And we thank you so much for your support with our local entertainers and everything that we do. Very, very cool. Jordan, you got anything to plug this week?
No, thank you. Pretty much covered it.
You heard that applause? I'm trying to.
Can I give one more plug?
Oh, yes.
Obviously not.
Plug away.
Haven't you had enough?
I know. I've had I don't know how long we've done this, but I just want to give a shout out to one of the companies that's been really good to me. If you guys want to get into shape, you want to learn how to fight, and you want to be a badass, go check out RT Martial Arts in Jensen. They're right in that same center where Hobby Lobby is.
Yeah.
So go check it out if you want to learn jiu-jitsu, you want to do stand-up, you want to learn MMA, if you want to lose weight or be a badass, go join RT Martial Arts.
Oh,
there we go.
Nice.
So fun. Yeah. I probably couldn't do any of those things.
Same.
Not yet.
Gotta start somewhere.
He says we gotta start somewhere.
Bethany said she'll be at Crocs on Friday.
Yeah.
Bethany.
All right.
Thank you, Bethany.
She's coming to see you.
Awesome. So if Sneaky Tiki's still tuning in, get ready, you guys, because we're going to do a little Name That Tune. Vern, are you ready? I picked this category especially for Southern rock fans. So, but it's a slight bit obscure. So I'm very excited to see.
Oh, boy.
So put your skills to the test here. So you guys watching at Sneaky Tiki, I'm so stoked that you guys have us on out there. That's very, very cool. Get your game faces on, because this is Name That Tune.
Name That Tune, brought to you by Amber Brock Lager. Delicious taste, smooth finish. And now, Amber Brock presents Name That Tune.
Yeah! It gives me time to open a beer. Normally I think that's way too long, but I was like, I'm struggling here a little bit.
Wow.
But here we are in Name That Tune, which I didn't put any notes in, so this is going to be just as fun for me as it is for all of you.
Oh, good.
Oh, man.
All right.
We
Name
don't even
That
have
Tune.
the answers now.
Are you guys ready for your first clue?
Def Leppard.
Yeah. AC/DC.
Ding, 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 ding.
Led Zeppelin.
So right. Okay, here we go. First clue in the Southern rock category.
Skynyrd.
Yeah.
Give me 3 steps.
Give me 3 steps.
Oh, dang.
Survey says.
Whoop, whoop.
Nice.
Nice.
Enough.
And quiet.
All right. Next clue. Ooh, that was quick. That was quick.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm hoping that the next couple.
Well,
stump
you will
you.
hear that from Sweet and Whiskey if you come on Friday night, so that's how I know.
Perfect.
That's a tune.
All right. Second clue.
Blackberry.
Uh-huh.
Ram Jam.
Ram Jam. That's right.
Dang.
Nice. God.
And he was worried.
I know. He's worried.
I'm still worried.
They're still
Killing
worried.
it. Killing it. All right. Next clue.
Molly Hatchet.
Yeah. What's the name of the song?
Disaster. Flirting with Disaster.
It is right.
Dang.
Flirting with Disaster. My God. You're the best contestant we've had so far.
Yeah, right?
So far.
So far. So far. I can't.
That was great.
I can't wait to have one of these groups on here and then like play their own song. I don't know. It's like a horrible pleasure of mine. It's like a sick fantasy. Anyway.
Or have them on and play like just all the locals. and try to make them guess all of
Just
your guys'
all local
fantastic
music.
hits. Yeah,
All local music.
that would be awesome. Be like, actually, it's
Oh, man. All
blah,
right.
blah, blah.
Final clue. We're reprising the flute here, by the way. Final clue.
Marshall Tucker. Can't you see?
Oh, my God.
Did it even start?
Oh, my
was
God.
That was
It did-
impressive. Damn.
I just said we were. Well, that's correct. I just said we were reprising the flute. Not bad, dude.
I knew as soon as you said it.
Kevin McLaughlin says, flirting with your sister. Bethany said, blown away about how quick Vern is.
Yep, he knows that category.
I'm not made for a guy that takes my time.
I'm not. Hatchet, on the other hand, he went real deep on his answer here. He said, track 1 on 79's Flirting with Disaster. Side 2.
Wow.
Side 2. It's very, very specific. You get a koozie. I'm going to send another koozie home with Vern to give to you on Friday. Or I might even bring it myself and give it to you, Hatchet. That was, that's solid.
Yeah,
That's solid.
detail oriented.
Yeah, Christine
that
said
guy's
Black
got a very deep knowledge of music. He just knows so much about rock and roll, and he keeps on like bringing this obscure music. He's like, "Have you heard this?" And I'm like, "No."
Show me it all.
He knows the B sides of the B sides. You know,
It's so good. Yeah, like the hidden tracks on the vinyls.
Yeah.
You have to lift and then put it on here. Oh my God. You know, it still always amazes me how like actual vinyl records were made. Like it seems like dark magic.
It does.
Like I understand how CDs are made with the laser etching. I get that. I barely understand how magnetic tape works, but like to just take a sound and have a needle etch into a master disc, and then you're just smashing it into wax all day long and putting it into a little cardboard sleeve, and that's how we listen to music. You know, like not you, Jordan.
That's it.
Not you, but the rest of us. You know, not
it's
me.
magical. It is really
Yeah.
magic, man.
Like that's how music was made, and people are purists when it comes to listening to music on vinyl.
And the sad thing is, it's not just the audio quality. It's the size of the vinyl. You know, when you look at the album cover, it's an art piece.
Yeah.
Where now you're looking at a little small ass block on a screen.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of sad because when you open that vinyl and you can bring out the liner notes and you can see the lyrics and some of the bands that really did a lot of effort with their packaging. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah. I saw a
Yeah.
post. It was either today or late yesterday. I saw a post from Johnny Depp. We're right here on the heels of the passing of Charlie Daniels. And so he was revisiting these records, and he was listening to a Charlie Daniels vinyl. And inside the vinyl was this like 8x10 picture of Charlie Daniels performing, and he was like, "I swear that this is like a darkroom developed picture. This isn't like something that was just run off of the laser printer and shoved inside. Like this is something that took work and it was a reproduction." To put in there, and like we do miss those things. I do enjoy that vinyls have made a resurgence in a very hipster type way.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, and as impractical as it is really to sell music these days, it's a very cool offering to give to people that are literally discovering vinyl now in 2020, or in the last decade at least. They're discovering as young people what vinyl was and how it sounds and the difference and how it could change the sound if the needle's just a little off or the tempo. This isn't digital. It's not set in stone. It depends on your player. It depends on your hi-fi system. Like it's wild, man.
Everything. The speakers were made of wood.
Yeah.
And it was just, like they say, a warmer sound. But it really was, and it's it's something that I don't think we're going to go back to that. Obviously, like there's a resurgence of people buying vinyls, but you need to make a lot of money to sell vinyls as an artist.
Because it costs so much to produce now. It used to be the cheapest way to produce music, and now, because it's boutique. It's a boutique production. Yeah. So you have boutique manufacturers making vinyls now because it's much easier to just, record it on your PC and upload it to the masses. So it's wild, man. It is really interesting to me. Let's see. Looking at some of the comments here. Where are we at here? Susan McDonald, thanks for joining. Another bartender from the Sneaky Tiki. I feel like the Sneaky Tiki are our biggest fans tonight. We really appreciate you guys. Please go and join the Jams and Cocktails Facebook group. Just search Jams and Cocktails on Facebook and go join our group and watch our shows, even if you're not at the Sneaky Tiki. But we do appreciate you listening in and watching the show tonight there. You want to jam another tune? You got one up your sleeve there?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Love it.
Yay.
Love it. Then we're going to hear from our good friend Tony Espinosa for your midweek motivation.
Let me just tune before we do this one. This one is called Without a Silver Spoon. I don't think I need to talk about what the song is about because it's one of those things. This is from our first album. It's just what I felt at that time, I think what a lot of musicians feel. You're sitting in your office chair, you write another check, strumming on these rusty strings, trying to pay the rent. The shiny tie around your neck reminds me of a news. We all know those city girls ain't got no blues. You drive around in your Mercedes, you think that you're a king. The fancy scotch won't get you sloshed, the king of your ring. But I couldn't give a damn about the name or brand, 'cause fancy things don't bother me, 'cause I'm a simple man. 'Cause all I got is enough, and I need nothing more. And I don't need a golden key to open up my door. It's a long, hard road without a silver spoon. Oh, I don't need no fancy scotch, I drink the cheapest brew. No fancy scotch won't get me sloshed, no careful Johnny Blue. And all the ladies like to hang with you when you're bankroll. But we all know those silly girls ain't got no soul, yeah. 'Cause all I got is enough, and I need nothing more. We're on the golden key to open up my door. It's a long, hard road without a silver spoon. 'Cause all I got is enough, and I need nothing more. But I don't need a golden key to open up my door. It's a long, hard road. It's a long, hard road. It's a long, hard road without a silver spoon, yeah. 'Cause go without a silver spoon.
So true. So good.
Oh, you ain't lying, man.
Thank you.
That's definitely listening to that as a Scotch drinker. I I can relate. I'm a Glenlivet lover, and it's definitely not a Johnny Walker Blue, but it's a little bit more pricey. But I'll always have a decanter full of Doers because you can get it for $25 for a huge vat of it.
There we go.
And yeah, it'll get you sloshed. I debated tonight whether I was going to drink it or not. And I was like, you know what? I was like, Vern's never been on the show before. I should really keep it together because the drunker I get, the more Jordan has to work. And, she just doesn't like to work.
No. I already worked today.
So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just stick to beers. I do want to ask you about your guitar.
Oh, yes.
So
This one?
yes, the one you're playing there.
I was eyeballing it.
Yeah.
Is it-
So we noticed that it's a small guitar, and what I love about it is that I also play a small guitar when I play acoustic. Is that the GS Mini?
Yes.
Yes.
Rosewood.
Nice. So good.
You better watch it.
You can see the rosewood at the back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a very deep, whatever you call this part of a guitar,
I call it
Backside?
it's the spoon. It's the spoon.
a very deep
Oh.
spoon.
I play the Taylor Big Baby,
Okay.
which is is step up size wise.
Oh, I didn't even know.
From the GS Mini.
But what a lot of people don't realize is that the neck is a normal
Standard size.
scale neck.
Yep.
It's just the body that's small. And you know what? It sounds big.
Yeah. So working on the ships, I used to be a Takamine player. I played Takamine guitars from the early 2000s on. And I completely destroyed a Takamine guitar working on the cruise ships. Just being belligerently drunk, playing on the islands, plus, just destroying these guitars. And so I came into port in Fort Lauderdale and was like, okay, I need to go to Guitar Center and I need to go and buy a new guitar. So I went in, I was like, dead set, I'm going to buy another Tak because it's been the greatest guitar ever. And so I played that, and then I saw the Big Baby sitting, and I was like, all right, I'll pull it out. And I was like, oh, this guitar sounds great. Put it down. Tried a few more Takaminis, tried some other brands, and came back to the Big Baby and played it again. And I was like, this guitar sounds superior to any of these instruments. It didn't have electronics. It's totally, just an acoustic instrument. And I was like, this guitar sounds too good. I can't. This is the guitar I'm taking with me. So I bought it and completely destroyed this guitar as well. But it's one of my favorite instruments I've ever owned, and I still pull it out and play it. I put pickups in it, and it sounds amazing. But the frets are completely pitted, like down to the core. I actually had the tuners all refit on there, and the luthier was like, "You need a fret job so bad." He's like, you should have just kept the tuners and got the fret job. I was like, okay, well, next time. And but I noticed that your pick wear
Yes.
is down over the pick guard, where it should be, where it's supposed to be. I wish I had a photograph or had my guitar out here, but I play super high up, right over the actual neck of the guitar,
Yeah,
right
like
there,
there,
right
yeah.
there. And literally, I'm borderline Willie Nelson trigger.
Okay.
Like, there's almost an actual hole, like, dug in. And it's so funny. I've been playing Jordan's father's Taylor, which just has, it's the full-size Taylor. And I'm starting to, like, wear a hole in where... And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should just put a pin in this for a while and rethink how I'm performing.
Definitely, man. And I think some of these, I don't know where it's coming from because I don't know where I'm strumming that
Yeah.
this happens.
It's interesting.
Oh, I
this.
didn't even see it on that
Yeah.
other side there.
And I don't know where this happens either. like this part. I don't touch the guitar there, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is. Sometimes I'll just lean my finger there. So I don't know if it's that. That's from
erosion from your fingers sitting.
Yeah.
But definitely by the sound hole. This is getting really thin over here. It's got some cracks, you know. I came back from a coastal tour in South Africa where this part was completely cracked. This was open.
Oh God.
Which I don't know how it happened.
You know, it was open at the seam.
Yes, a little bit.
You know, that's I had the same problem with my Taylor. I had a luthier fix it. It came undone again. I got some Gorilla Glue and did it myself and just clamped it down and let it sit overnight. Haven't had a problem since. So maybe that's just a common theme.
But
there.
you could see there was damage there in front of the guitar, though. So I was like, I don't know what happened. Maybe some gal's boyfriend didn't like me serenading the girls at night or something. I don't know. But the next day I took out my guitar and this happened. So I had it fixed by a good luthier in South Africa. He's called Kuhn Guitars. And he makes cool shit, man. He doesn't have like ranges of guitars. He makes every guitar is a unique design, and he actually exports to America and Australia.
No kidding.
Very cool stuff.
So what
handmade.
What got you to choose a smaller size guitar? Was that a choice, or did you just pick it up and was like me? Did you pick it up and was like, no, this guitar sounds amazing. I have to have it.
I don't know. I think I like I think it was I saw Robert Johnson with a smaller. He had a smaller. It's a different shape, obviously. More of a dreadnought shape, I think, but a smaller shape. I just liked it. I wanted a darker face guitar, and then I spoke to the guy at the music store that I knew really well. And I was I don't know why I was looking at these Taylor Minis. I don't know why they appealed to me. I love the shape. It's just such a beautiful shape. And he said I need to get the rosewood one. It sounds the best. And as soon as I picked this one up, it sounded so good. It's got a lot of character. If you can see in the wood, I don't know if people can see it.
Yeah.
You can see in the wood. It's got all these lines, and that's what I love about it. That every guitar is unique. And they smell good, you know. When I take when I take this thing out, I love digging my nose into the guitar and just smell it.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Confessions.
Aww, that's awesome.
No, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's very similar. Like I never thought I would get a small mini size guitar, but it's so portable and it's so easy to play. Yeah. And now, like, I play predominantly electric guitar in my shows, so like my acoustic never even sees the light of day anymore, and I miss it sometimes. It was kind of nice in quarantine to be able to bust it out and do my little live stream shows and be like, oh god, I miss this guitar. But then it hurts my fingers and I'm like, okay, now I know why you go away. But yeah, that's killer, man. I did wonder, and now I know. Yeah, the Big Baby is very similar in size, but it's more of a dreadnought shape, where that's like a pseudo cutaway almost, you know, with a smaller front. Anyway, we do have a request for an encore before the podcast ends, so prepare another song here. But before we get to that, we're going to jump into our midweek motivation.
Can I go?
Oh my God, yes, straight.
Straight into the right.
In the door and to the right. You can't miss it.
You'll see it.
Oh, man. We all have to do it. I've done it 3 times in this show already, you guys.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, every time Vern put a song on, I was like...
To the little boys' room
To the little boys' room I go. Each week, you guys, our good friend and certified leadership coach, Tony Espinosa, gives us a little inspiration to make it through our midweek. He spent years in the service industry, trained under the leadership legend John Maxwell, and is an all-around smart and passionate guy. So grab a pen and paper. This is your midweek motivation.
Brad bradbrock.com. Happy Wednesday, Jams and Cocktails. It's good to see you. Thanks again for having me on. You know I love this part of the week. All right, so I guess I'll just jump right into it. We don't have any special topics going on this week. Nothing we really want to touch base on. So I do want to touch base. I mean, things are kind of getting a little crazy again with this whole pandemic. We have opened up and did a very bad job. Restaurant owners, business owners have not managed their businesses properly. You go by any local restaurant on a Friday night, the dance floor is packed, the bars are packed. People are not doing or acting how they're supposed to. Now, I know a lot of people don't believe this is a real thing, but if you can see, I know we can't believe all the media, but it's not getting any better. So looks like we're going back on another lockdown. So with that being said, it's time to think about your life if you haven't been up to this point. Everyone wants to be successful. Everybody wants to be rich and wealthy. And most of us fall short of that, which is fine, which is very fine. We live in a culture where we put athletes and actors on a pedestal, and we shouldn't. That's not the life. I mean, granted, yes, it would be great to have $100 million, don't get me wrong, but that's not reality. That's a very small percentage of the population, a very small percentage of people that make it to that level. And I'm not saying if that's your dream or your goal, I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's gonna be a tough ride. Any great dream or goal to accomplish comes with great, huge sacrifice. Now, with that being said, there's a difference between success and significance. The majority of us strive for success and then fall short of both, success and significant. We end up living a life that's just enough to get by, and we pay our bills, we raise our families, and we die. And we have happy dreams, we have happy lives, we have memories to share with our families, and we do leave something. But if you want to leave a legacy and a significant life behind for people to talk about so you don't die, your memory lives on forever, you need to be very disciplined. See, if you can discipline yourself, you can go so much farther than you think. And a lot of people think, well, once I feel good about things, once I got to do this first, and once I feel good, then I can start living like that. But if you're very disciplined and focused on living a life of significance, and you're very disciplined, and you start living that life, then you'll start feeling good. You start living a life of significance, then you start feeling better. Then you get to the next level. So don't ever wait. You can't wait. Start right now. Don't wait to feel good for everything to be perfect. Start doing what you can now, and everything else will find its way. I love you. Have a great week. God bless.
Yeah. Tony Espinosa.
Whoa, I'm pumped.
Right? Got that midweek motivation. And he's right.
Yeah.
I've been part of that too, where I've always wanted to wait for the right moment. When's the right moment to strike? When's the right moment to drop a record? When's the right moment to drop a single and or do anything, any kind of advertisement or start any kind of project, including Jams and Cocktails. And the answer is there's never a perfect time. Like, you just kind of have to go and give it the shot. And
there's never a right time to do anything, and you might as well just do it, even if it doesn't feel good in the moment. It's that instant gratification thing. It feels good to sleep late or watch Netflix the whole day and all that crap.
That's true.
Which feels good at that time, but what feels even better in the long run? Doing what you know you need to do.
Yeah.
And you know what you need to do.
Or at least, yeah.
Everybody knows what they need to do.
Absolutely. Or at least knowing that you gave it a shot. You put it out there.
Yeah.
It was, and then you take the data that comes in after that and you make your decisions based on that, your next move. How are you going to proceed? This whole podcast has been a learning experience from 25 episodes, here we are. And before it was, we did multiple episodes before we even decided to make it a real thing. And it's always been a learning experience, and we learn from every guest that we have, and we learn from every technical advancement we make, whether it was a good one or a bad one. We're like, oh, well, that was an overkill, or we were not ready for that. But
the important thing is you actually did it.
You're right.
You could have still sat on the couch and thought, oh, man, I really want to start that podcast.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you did it. That's the important thing. Just do it, man. Even if it sucks, whatever you do, just try and do it.
And you guys should really take heed to what Vern is saying, because he literally moved continents to come here and give it a shot. And that's wild. And bro, so happy to have you here.
Yeah.
You are a gem. You are a talent. I'm very excited to see Switchin' Whiskey on Friday. We'll be there.
Yes.
For sure. Dude, we did have a request for an encore song before the podcast ends. And it was this is from Sneaky Tiki, by the way. Hopefully it's your favorite song to play. Can you give us your favorite song to play? Hopefully you haven't already done it.
Do you have one?
No, I don't have a favorite song to play. But everybody always asks me, like, because these people come to me and like, can you play this? Can you play this? And I'm like, sorry, I don't know that song. I don't know that song, you know. A lot of requests I know, but the things that I want to play is not going to be what they want to hear at that time when they're all partied up and want to party.
Hey, you know? Man.
Because I just want to play like some sad country shit, you know. Like, and people are like, they're not going to want to hear that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just play whatever, red wine or whatever.
Oh, no, don't do that. We're going to cut the podcast off immediately.
That's a great
But
one.
you know what? I feel like we might have some sort of captive audience right now. And this is their request. Your favorite song. So what's in your soul? What do you want to play? This is because we're sold.
Yep.
Jordan and I are completely sold. So, man, we just want to hear you play
I already
it.
subscribed to you on YouTube and liked your Facebook page.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I have to.
Every little bit helps.
It's so good.
Thank you so much.
Of course. You're wonderful.
Okay, let me do some Allman Brothers just because we spoke about Allman Brothers earlier.
Ooh.
And
Love it.
I'll try to remember all the lyrics. So
Perfect.
this is just what I feel like I want to play. Well, I've got to run to keep from hiding, and I'm bound to keep on riding, and I got one more silver dollar, but I'm not gonna let them catch me, no, not gonna let them catch the midnight rider, and I don't clothes I'm wearing, and the road goes on forever, and I got one more silver dollar, but I'm not gonna let them catch me, no, not gonna let them catch the midnight rider. I'm going back to the point of caring, some old bed I should be sharing, and I got one more silver dollar, but I'm not gonna let them catch me, no, not gonna let them catch the midnight rider. Yeah, I'm not gonna let them catch me, no, not gonna let them catch the midnight rider. Yeah, I'm not gonna let them catch me, no, not gonna let them catch the midnight rider. Yeah, I'm not gonna let them catch me, no, not gonna let them catch the midnight rider. Ooh.
Yeah.
Woo. Oh, yes.
Oh, Midnight Rider.
That's a good one.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Well, Vern, hope you had a good time, man.
I had a really good time. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and as we always say, man, the first show is the toughest. We got to like dig through all the dirt and get to the bottom of your story and run you through the Lipton Tea ringer and all these things. But we always invite our guests to come back. The next show is great because it's just kind of a
shooting the shit.
Yeah, man. It's just kind of a powwow, and we just have a good time, and we do panel shows where we'll bring on other singer-songwriters, man, and we just pass the guitar around and we have a good time. So it's great to have you here in the States. Sorry you had to come so far to come here, but we're very excited to have you. I'm very excited to see the band this weekend. And that was 7 o'clock at Crocodillos, right?
Yes.
Crocodillos there in Fort Pierce. So if you guys are looking for something to do on Friday night, come out. And
it's outside, right? Or is it inside and outside?
It is.
It's outside. Okay.
It's outside.
So we'll be in the open.
Yep, we'll be out in the open.
Out in the open.
So social distancing, I'm sure, will be in full effect
Yes.
as much as possible.
Some fresh air.
Yep, it's good to get some fresh air.
Yeah.
I think anyway. But yeah. So any closing remarks? Anything you want to do? Any more shots you want to take?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I think it's really cool what you guys are doing, giving some exposure to some of the local musicians, and I hope you guys just grow and grow and grow, man, and that you're that you can get some people from out of town as well, and because you guys are awesome and you've got a cool setup here. Thank you so much for having me, and all the best for the future, guys.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
You're wonderful.
It's definitely our pleasure, man. And as I always say, it's the mandate of this show, and it always has been, really, to just give a spotlight to our local entertainers and venues and businesses that don't get an opportunity to have this kind of engagement. We always say, you go and you see your favorite entertainer and you get them for 45 minutes on stage and 15 minutes while they're trying to pee, get a drink, smoke a cigarette, whatever they got to do, change their shirt, Stephen D. Hunt. So you don't really get an opportunity to sit and chat and get to know the story. And the whole point of this is to let people know the stories of the entertainers that they get to see at the Sneaky Tiki, that they get to see at Crocodillos, that they get to see in the corner of Applebee's, when you're eating your chicken fingers. Like, we all have a story. We're all there for a reason, and it's not just loud wallpaper. And it's very, very cool for us, and maybe a little selfish for us to have a little moment with you guys in our own world to enjoy a performance and get to know you a little bit better. So, Vern Daysel, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Have a wonderful evening. Everybody, thank you for tuning in.
Yes. I'd like to say a special thank you to Sally, Joe, and Bethany and all of Sneaky Tiki that have watched us on the screen. Thank you so much for streaming us out there. That's very, very cool. And we hope that you do it again. And thanks for chiming in with requests and things like that. We love you. As always, joining me here in the JNC studio, give it up again for Jordan Taylor. Woo!
Thanks, everyone. It's been real. It's been real fun.
Keeping all my ducks in a row.
Yes, straight out of Shady Pines.
Straight out of Shady Pines. Yeah, let's look at that shirt. Show them that shirt.
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls. We love the Golden Girls.
Shout out
here.
to Camille.
Was that a Camille gift?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And thank you again, you guys, for tuning in live. And those of you that are watching this back or listening in on your favorite podcast platform, give us a follow. Thank you once again to Vern Daysel.
Yay.
And be sure to tune in to the JNC podcast next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be joined by the amazing Victoria Lee. Very excited to have her back on the show. She's awesome. Great reggae artist, as well as a great loop artist and a great songwriter. We're excited to have her back. Until then, you guys, be kind to one another. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Woo. Peace out.